Hi guys, we are in Ghana, Accra, Ghana for the very first time. I'm here for the DSI Consortium meeting. It's the 5th time this meeting is happening, and it's international, bringing together policymakers, innovators, people doing research, and the theme is around data science in health. And it's interesting and exciting to be here to first of all share my work, to be a panelist, to also be a rapporteur in one of the sessions. I'm here as an early career researcher. Very exciting. Welcome back to Career Biome. My name is Maria. I was just having something warm to start the day and noticed that my cup was saying, it's a good day to have a good day. And I completely agree. Yes, good day because also it's my first time in Accra. I woke up in Ghana on a fully paid trip to come as an early career researcher, and it's exciting. Of course, I've been sharing my journey and telling people the places I go to, but I get an opportunity now to bring you along by talking to you about what we are doing at the Data Science Consortium Meeting in Accra, Ghana. Yes, so I am attending the 5th DSI Africa Consortium Meeting, and it is on themes around data for health in Africa. It is happening in Accra, Ghana, started last week, and it's still ongoing. And it's my first time in Ghana. We're also being hosted at the University of Ghana, which is almost a city on its own. This place is huge, but there is so much for us to look into. So this meeting is jointly funded by Wellcome Trust and the National Institutes of Health, and it brings together people in research, innovators. We also have policymakers and also data scientists that are advancing solutions in health and strengthening health outcomes across Africa. And yeah, this year's theme is data science in Africa, strengthening partnerships and collaborations across networks, sectors, and impact areas. And of course, this is my domain. My project, my work, if you've listened to some of the videos I've created, are to do, well, I'm working in data science in bioinformatics, and my PhD is actually looking at improving patient outcomes. So attending the 5th consortium meeting on data science in Africa is an opportune moment for me, first of all, to hear the research that is being done, but also to participate in the different facets that I am right now. And when I look back, I'm like, okay, so most of the things I've been doing, when I talk about my work on social media, when I talk about some of the research that we are doing, it is birthing some of these things that are coming to fruition today. Because to be given platform on a meeting as the DSI to just talk about like career pathways is golden. It is amazing, and to know that I'm here and I'm representing so many people out there as an early career researcher is in itself a golden opportunity. I'm first of all so proud of this journey, but also very thankful to the community and the funders. What are some of my roles at the DSI Consortium Meeting in Ghana? I came here as an early career researcher. Early career researchers are people starting out their journey in research, in science, and at the level of PhD, sometimes the postdocs that, so postdoc is the transition between someone doing their PhD and also finding a position in another place. And then also we have people who haven't yet enrolled for PhD, but most of the times they define early career researchers as those doctoral students that are taking on their doctoral training, that's PhD level and also postdoc. In other words, when you haven't yet transitioned into an established, let's say, research group, but you've finished your PhD, that's most likely the docket for the postdocs. And yeah, so I came here again to also present on some of the work that I'm doing. So I'm here as a presenter. Other than me being an early career researcher, I had a flash talk. Flash talks are usually very brief. You have like takeaways, key messages from your work. And I was giving a presentation about my PhD. At this level of my PhD, we have some preliminary results, and they are very promising. So I get to be given a platform to talk about some of this work and get feedback from stakeholders, from people all over. This meeting connects people from across the world, and it's so amazing to receive some of the feedback we do during the presentations, but also after the presentations. So yes, early career researcher, I also came as a presenter, and then importantly, I came as a panelist, which was, of course, one of those things that I'm very excited to do. I've been a panelist before, but in this case, it was to represent the early career researchers. And we were having discussions about career pathways, and I gave my own experience when it comes to career and what the trajectory has been. For context of this video, my journey has been not the traditional or conventional path, because I've seen like a different transition from what is general. I started out as a biomedical research scientist, and I did a course in biomedical lab technology. And during that time, the skills we were gaining were mostly training us to be people giving services in the laboratories, testing out patient samples in terms of diagnostics, running PCRs, sample collection, mostly in the sector of like hospital environment research facilities, but as a biomedical lab scientist or biomedical lab technologist. And then I transitioned from biomedical lab technology and went on to do my master's in bioinformatics. Now, bioinformatics is mostly skewed as an area of dry laboratory. I don't necessarily have to be in the wet lab. Wet lab deals with, of course, things to do in the laboratory, PCR, reagent preparation, and related activities and processes. And so that transition from biomedical lab technology to bioinformatics made a shift for me, because in bioinformatics I got introduced to things like coding. So I am a coder. I had to learn programming. I didn't have a background in computer science. It was a steep learning curve for me, learning to, of course, write this code in Bash using tools like, languages like Python and R. And of course, yes, Bash scripting, that is like the foundation we got to, of course, coding. It was very interesting and also a very steep learning curve, like I've mentioned. And then now transitioning from that to data science, because bioinformatics and data science are mostly related, but they have some distinctions in themselves. Data science is broad, and in data science, basically mostly I am dealing with patient outcomes using machine learning, and that is my concentration right now. That's where I'm focusing at this point in time. So bringing that experience that I have as a girl from Uganda representing East Africa in a consortium meeting at the DSI, Data Science for Health, it is amazing that I get to come and present about, first of all, my work, but also being a panelist for career pathways and talking about how collaborations have actually shaped my career, and they continue to shape it because of the different engagements that happen here and there. And then I'm also here as a rapporteur. So a rapporteur is a person who takes notes in one of the plenary sessions and then gives a report on what has been discussed. So besides everything I've mentioned, also at the DSI, I was selected and nominated as a rapporteur for one of the sessions, and the session is AI for All, where we're having discussions about what AI is, who is it for, what is all this thing, like what are some of the things we need to think about in our integration of AI in day-to-day when it comes to institutions, when it comes to the people themselves, and how it affects the outcomes in the work that we do, and who is represented when you speak about AI. Like, where does this thing start? Where does it end? Where are we? Someone mentioned something that stuck with me when it came to that session of, at this point, we are telling AI what to do. At some point, it will be telling us what to do. Are we ready for times like those? But of course, the discussion was very interesting, and I just wanted to give you an insight into what I'm doing at the DSI. Interestingly, I've brought Career Biome with me. As you notice, I'm speaking to you right now, but I'm also going to show you in the other videos some of the discussions we've had with other people that are doing their work. I got a chance to speak to some people one-on-one so they could share in a Career Biome environment, so that we can talk about some of the work they're doing. And at this point, Career Biome is international. I mean, we're in Ghana now. The other time we were in Cape Town. Like, it's so many different things. The other time we were in the UK. So Career Biome is almost everywhere. And if you haven't joined the Biome yet, this is the time I tell you, subscribe and stay in touch. And I was thinking about how storytelling is bringing me to this point in time. And when I say storytelling, I mean storytelling in the career lens. What I mean is continuously sharing my experience and documenting my life. It's interesting, every time I open my Instagram or my TikTok or my YouTube, I'm finding a message from someone who is saying, thank you for sharing your journey. Just yesterday, someone sent me a message, which was like so well documented. And I like the fact that people are writing to me actually using complete sentences. Lol. Anyway, someone writes and tells you, thank you for sharing your journey, because it gives me hope. It has also given me a need to go back and pursue whatever I had put on table, but also give me insights in either pursuing a PhD just from watching you. And so me documenting my life, and now it's being accepted in the same spaces that I thought would not actually take in this skill. Let me give you a background story. I've often encountered challenges when I was starting out on sharing my journey in science in spaces, and people were telling me, doesn't this really take away from your concentration, from the work you're supposed to be doing? And I quite of get it, because yes, they think social media is very consuming. It is consuming, but I like to define myself as a creator. I'm not really such a content consumer. I have like such discipline around the things I'm consuming when it comes to social media platforms, and so it is very streamlined in how I approach social media. But then what I'm trying to say is, when I started to talk about my journey, of course there was like mixed signals about what I'm doing and how does it fit into the work that I intend to advance in. But now we are in a new country on a fully funded trip, and it is for me to come and share about that journey, how I'm doing all of these things and the career trajectory. And I'm like, okay, it has taken some time from when I started doing this, but now my skilling that is very doable, because I am a content creator and I'm also a researcher, is finally being accepted in the spaces that I thought it would be hard. And I'm being invited as a panelist, I'm being invited as a presenter, I'm being invited to share my experience on international conferences such as this. And I just want to caution and tell someone out there that whatever it is that you have at heart, you have the vision, continue pursuing it, but also do not abandon your core skill, because it is very powerful when you come with a core skill. I mean, if I was just a content creator, I wouldn't be here. But then I know that I'm adding value, and by adding value, it's through some of the work that I'm doing in my research and in spaces like the DSI, Data Science for Africa, in health. It is not a small feat in any way. So finding position and seeing how I integrate my natural skill of storytelling, of documenting my PhD journey, of documenting my career trajectory in research in bioinformatics, and doing that in a fun way that is very relatable to audiences such as the one I'm speaking to right now, is finally being accepted. Like finally, like doing all of this and now finally finding a platform to discuss this in consortium meetings. In a consortium meeting is, for me, it is a win. So when I was flying in and while I was on board, I kept thinking about how this is a full circle moment for me. Someone who had like vision. I find that the fruition is now like really before me. And of course, we're just scratching the surface. There is so much to go. There is so much for me to learn, but also to, experience when it comes to navigating such spaces. But to see that we are here now at this point in time, when I got some email from one of the ladies, I don't know if I should say her name for confidentiality purposes, the program administrator for this panel session that I was having a discussion. I was so ecstatic. I was so happy and overjoyed, because I felt like the people that I am working, not necessarily working with, because we're not working closely, but she got to know about me through my different channels. And I don't know where she saw it from, but she sent me an email and she's telling me, would you be able to join a panel discussion? And they were looking for, of course, diversity when it comes to representation. They wanted someone from East Africa and a female at that. And I was like, yes, I'm so up for it. In fact, my email was just instant. You know, when they send you something like, okay, would you like to do this? I'm like, yes, of course, this is my domain. Like, yes, please bring it on. I'm happy to have this discussion. And at that point, I told her, I'll look at the document later, but it sounds like this is my perfect fit, and I'm happy to do it. And yes, here we are. And I just had a panel session and it went so well. And I just want to say that continue refining your skill, whichever it is. It might not be storytelling for you. Well, for me, it's storytelling and of course the work that I do. And I weave that into capacity building, into mentorships. Like, how am I using my skill to serve others? So through my experience, through documenting my journey, I bring people along, but I also share them what is possible. I share, I show, and I live it, I document it. And when I was coming and I was like, okay, so I am going to this fully funded trip. It's not the first, it's not the last. I've been flown out many times to go present my work, but this time I'm bringing you along because we are having these discussions. And I know sometimes people wonder, like, what is happening? She's always traveling. I know that these discussions happen even when I'm not around. At least I've had some comments around the same. But then looking at my journey and my trajectory, it comes down to one of these many things that I want to talk about, or maybe these few things that we'll discuss in this video. Putting yourself out there and telling people what you want to do, and also being very vocal about it, of course in a respectable way. Like, let people know what you want to do, but also fine-tune yourself into the environments that nurture your skill, and let people know your capabilities. Like, continuously be a student of life. Like, learn as much as you can from people, from peers, from anyone. Almost everyone you meet, not even almost, but everyone you meet will have something they'll teach you. So be a student for life. When it comes to career biome, I am so intentional in bringing along the people that are doing the research. You know, doing research is one thing, but we would like to see the people behind, the faces behind this work, and having normal discussions with them outside the confines of the lab, but also outside the confines of publications, to have a discussion and just to hear from them. One of the interesting conversations I've had has been with Gerard, who is my academic mentor and supervisor, and we've moved the journey together. We've spoken about so many things, but finally we are having this discussion with him. It is already short, and I urge you to look forward to this discussion. It's amazing. We talked about so many things. He's a great conversationalist. He said he hadn't been on such like talking to people the way, or being hosted as a YouTube channel, something like that. But I'm so happy that we got to do that conversation. And also for me, it is more around humanizing the science that we do, because again, there are people and actual faces behind the work that is published, behind the tools that are developed, behind the diagnostic, the resistance tools, like all the pipelines people are developing, it's actually faces behind them. So having them share part of work they do, but also just seeing these people like in a space such as Career Biome, where they talk about this work and just share other things about their story, is very interesting, and I'm so passionate about that bit. And then I also got to meet Jessica, who is one of the people and the brains behind The Village. The Village is a platform that bridges mentors and mentees, and I think this is an important resource. And it uses AI. Basically, you create an account, and then using your data and information, they're able to match with your perfect mentor. Now here, I need you to pay attention, because I've had this question come up frequently. Oh, could you mentor me? I'm looking for a mentor. And now we are finally getting the right tool that is going to bring you closer to your mentor. And so look out for that conversation as well to come out in another week. The name of the platform and resource is The Village. I will be sharing those links in the video once it's up. And then I've also had conversations with some of the early career researchers, like my fellow early career researchers. Most of them are doing their work in PhD. Others are data managers from different parts of the world. It's exciting. So look up for that in the coming weeks on Career Biome. Let us know which people you'd like to see on the channel, because we want to bring these people closer to you, so you can have you can hear from them firsthand. And yeah, you can learn, you can ask questions. And also, we are going to start rolling out a newsletter, so be sure to subscribe to those newsletters. The links and information will be in our description. And of course, if you haven't, you know what to do, so click the button and subscribe. Thank you for chilling with me over here on Career Biome. It's been an interesting couple of days, still is. And interestingly, now the enjoyment's about to start. So I came here, I just want to give you like a wrap up, because it's been a heavy kind of thing, but it's been beautiful on so many levels. So I came here as a presenter, came here as a panelist in another session, came here as an early career researcher, came here as a rapporteur on one of the plenary sessions. And that means there has been a lot of brain work and a lot of fatigue on different levels, because being your best self at some of these presentations is not an easy task. But beyond that, I am extending my stay in Ghana. It's my first time in Accra, and we're about to go into the enjoyment. I want to see more of the city. I want to go horse riding. I want to chill at the beach in Ghana, at the coast. But I'm excited for the extension that I'm having, and I'm looking forward to seeing more of Ghana as a city, or Ghana as a country, and Accra as a city, and experiencing some of the life outside there. So I'll bring you along this in another platform, that is Maria Namaganda. You know where to find me, because on here we focus on careers, on mentorship, and for any other thing you can look out for my personal handles at Maria Namaganda. But for now, be sure to subscribe to Career Biome and stay in touch. Until next time, see you in my next videos.